You search for a Google Docs tutorial, and that's exactly what this is. The document open on screen is a finished Google Doc, not a template and not a mocked-up screenshot. It's called Website Launch Plan. Up top left, the file name is set, and the document is already saved to Google Drive. On the left, the document outline shows the main sections, and that outline wasn't built by hand, it came from headings. In the body, there are styled headings, body text, a bulleted list, an image, and a comment thread attached to a sentence. The blue share button in the top right already shows that someone else has access. Doregami sanas debat benahumzun, Prebliopodem dememel. You'll name the file, structure it with proper headings, format the body text, drop in a link and an image, leave comments and track suggestions, and then send it out as a PDF or a Word file without breaking the live Google Docs version. Before we start from zero, look at the finished thing for a second. The title at the top left is not just a header, it is the actual file name in Google Drive. If a teammate searches Drive for Website Launch Plan, this is what they find. The heading text in the body is not bold and enlarged. It is heading 1 and heading 2, and because of that the outline appears and navigation works. The comment on the right edge is attached to a specific line, and a suggestion would show change text in green if there were one. These are the bits that matter, and I'm going to build them in the order that makes them stick. The order is deliberate. We start with the file name, because every later version is tied to Drive, and there is nothing worse than having 20 untitled documents. Then we do the text structure. That has to come before images and comments, because headings make the outline and comments attach cleanly to selected text. After that, we insert links and images, then switch into suggesting mode, and finally share and export. If you already have a blank document open, follow along from there. If not, open one now. Start on the Google Docs homepage. If you're already there, click the blank document thumbnail with the plus sign, and a fresh doc opens in a new tab. The faster route is the browser address bar. Click into it, type doc.new, and press enter. That skips the homepage entirely and jumps straight into a brand new untitled document. I use that method almost every time. The top left corner of the document now says Untitled Document. Click that text. It opens a small renamed field and the current name is selected. Type Website Launch Plan and press enter. Watch the top left corner update, and now look at the tab at the top of the browser. It also changes to Website Launch Plan. On the right side of the top toolbar, you should see Save to Drive with a small cloud icon. That is Google's way of telling you the file already has a home. You don't save it manually, and that matters because people coming from Word often hit Ctrl+S over and over. You don't need to. It saves as you type. Always rename the file before typing body text because Drive Search will happily bury an untitled document. The name also becomes the default title when you export to a PDF or Word file, so if you leave it as Untitled Document, the exported file carries that useless name onto your desktop. Now click into the blank body of the page and type Website Launch Plan as the first line. That's the title of the document content, not just the file. Select the whole line with the mouse or by double-clicking the words, then go to the top toolbar and find the Style dropdown. It says Normal Text. Click it and choose Heading 1. The text jumps to a large bold size, and it also changes its semantic style. That distinction is the whole point. You could get the same look by increasing the font size and clicking bold, but then the outline would not be built and a reader using the document outline could not jump to that section. If the left side of the document doesn't show an outline yet, go to the View menu and click Show Document Outline. A small sidebar opens and Heading 1 now appears in it. That is because Docs automatically builds the outline from the heading styles. On the next line, type Timeline and press Enter, then type Audience and press Enter. These will be our section headings. Select Timeline, click the same normal text dropdown and choose Heading 2. Then do the same for Audience. Heading 2 is one level below Heading 1, and you'll see the outline indent both of them under the main title. Use Heading 2 for subsections, not for every line. If you mark an entire paragraph as Heading 2, the outline becomes a wall of text and it stops being useful. The thing people get wrong here is using headings as decoration. They highlight a line, set the font size to 18, make it bold, and call it a heading. It looks the part in the document, but it does not appear in the outline, and it does not behave as a heading when someone uses a screen reader or tries to link to that section. Use the Style dropdown. It's the one labeled Normal Text, and it controls the actual structure of the document. Now click under the Audience heading and type a short paragraph. I'll type this plan covers the website launch from pre-promotion to post-launch follow-up. Select the whole paragraph. The toolbar shows the current font and size. Google Docs starts with Arial at 11, and for a working document, that's fine. If you want a cleaner look, click the font drop-down and choose Trebuchet or something else from your brand. I usually leave a plain document in Arial because the reader cares about the content, not the font. Changing the font for every paragraph is a trap. With the paragraph still selected, click the B icon in the toolbar to make the phrase post-launch follow-up bold. Select just the opening word this and click the I icon for italics. The toolbar gives immediate visual feedback. The shortcuts are faster. Control B for bold, Control I for italics, on a Mac command instead of Control. For headings, the shortcut is Control-Alt-1 for Heading 1 and Control-Alt-2 for Heading 2. I use the drop-down when I'm explaining it, but the shortcuts are what I actually use. Now we'll create a list. Click the empty line below the paragraph. On the toolbar, find the bulleted list icon, which is 3 small lines with dots. Click it and a bullet appears at the start of the line. Type finalize launch date and press enter. Type confirm email list and press enter. Type publish homepage and press enter. Each line gets its own bullet. When you're done with the list, press enter twice and you're back to normal body text. For a sequence with order, use the numbered list icon right next to the bulleted list. Click it and type the first step. Press enter, type the second step. Numbered lists are best for steps, bulleted lists for groups of related items. I wouldn't mix them in the same section because that makes the reader work too hard to see which things belong together. Next, we need a link. In a real launch plan, you usually link out to the live site, a shared asset folder, or a source document. Select the words homepage in the list, or type a phrase like view the homepage. With the text selected, press Ctrl-K or Command-K on a Mac. A small dialog opens near the selected text. It has a search or paste field and an apply button. Paste the web address into the field. Watch what happens to the field text. It fills with the address, and when you click apply, the selected text turns blue and underlined. That is the behavior you want. Do not paste a long raw address into the middle of a paragraph because the document becomes hard to read and the link is not attached to any anchor text. Use Ctrl-K every time. The link dialog also has an option to search for a linked document in Drive, which is useful for internal project files. Click the link text now, and a small pop-up appears with the web address. It has 3 icons: copy, edit, and remove. If the address is wrong, click the pencil icon and change it. If you want to unlink, click remove. Now add an image. Click the spot in the body where the image should sit. I'll put mine under the intro paragraph. Go to the insert menu at the top of the page, choose image, then choose search the web. A right sidebar opens with a search box and a grid of image results. Type website launch calendar and press enter. Click the image you want, and then click insert at the bottom of the sidebar. The image drops into the document at the cursor. When the image first lands, it's probably in line with the text, which means it acts like a giant text character. Click the image once. A small toolbar appears below it with options for inline, wrap text, break text, and size. I always choose wrap text for a document like this because the body text flows around the image instead of leaving a huge blank column on either side. Then drag the image by its center to the right edge of the page. The text reflows immediately. Use the blue corner handles to shrink it down if it's too large. If the image starts to look stretched, you're dragging a side handle instead of a corner. Use a corner. That's the fastest way to avoid a stretched logo or a squashed headshot. One thing that trips people here is pasting an image directly from a website. You might get the image, but you don't get the same placement controls. Inserting through Search the Web keeps the image inside the document and gives you those wrapping options. Now we're ready to collaborate. Comments and suggestions are 2 different things, and people confuse them. A comment is a note in the margin. It does not change the text. A suggestion is an edit that can be accepted or rejected. Both start with selecting text. For a comment, highlight the sentence about the launch date. When you select text, a small speech bubble icon appears on the right edge of the page next to the selection. Click it. A comment box opens. Type "Please confirm this date" with the sales team and click Comment. The comment card stays attached to that sentence, and anyone watching can see your name and the time. If you want to tag a teammate, type the @ symbol and start typing their name. Google suggests them, and sending the comment notifies them. Now switch to suggesting mode. In the top right of the toolbar, there is a pencil icon that says Editing. Click it and choose Suggesting from the small menu. The label changes to Suggesting, and the button takes on a green tint. Now select the phrase launch date in the first bullet. Type go live date. Watch what happens. The original words are not deleted, they get a strike through, and the replacement text appears in green. A suggestion card appears in the right margin with a check mark and an X. That is the track change. The document owner can open that suggestion card and click the check to accept the edit, or the X to reject it. You should not leave suggesting mode on when you're making your own final edits, because every keystroke becomes a suggestion and the document becomes a mess. Switch it back to editing when you need to make direct changes. The mistake I've made more than once is leaving a comment on the wrong selection. The dotted line from the comment to the text shows what it's attached to. If the selection is too broad, the comment attaches to a whole paragraph. If that happens, click the comment, click the 3-dot menu on the comment card, delete it, then select only the exact words and comment again. Now the document has structure, links, an image, and a suggestion. The next thing is getting it to someone else. Click the blue share button in the top right. The share dialog opens. It has a field labeled Add People and Groups. Type the email address of a teammate. As you type, Google may auto-suggest matching contacts from your directory. Choose the right person. Next to the email field, there's a drop-down that says Editor. Click it and choose Viewer, Commenter, or Editor. For a teammate who needs to make direct changes, leave it as Editor. For a stakeholder who just needs to read the final copy, choose Viewer. I almost never hand out Editor to someone who is only reviewing, because that is how things get changed without a suggestion trail. If you choose Commenter, that person can leave comments and make suggestions, but they cannot alter the original text directly. That's the right setting for a copy editor or a manager who should mark up the draft. After you pick the permission, click Send. The dialog closes and the blue share button now shows the avatars of the people with access. The document sends them an email with a link, and their permission is tied to their account, not just the link. Now export a copy. Go to File at the top menu, then Download. A submenu opens with several formats. Choose PDF document, which is labeled PDF document.pdf. The file downloads to your computer, usually into the Downloads folder. Your browser may show it in the bottom download bar. Click the downloaded file to open it. This is a clean read-only snapshot. Comments and suggestions do not disrupt the reading view the same way they do on screen. If someone needs to edit offline in Word, go back to File, Download, and choose Microsoft Word.docx. That produces a Word file they can open in Word or upload somewhere else, but the live Google Drive version remains the source. Any changes they make in that downloaded Word file do not automatically sync back. Now that the document is shared and exported, there are a few things you're likely to hit next. One of them is a change that gets made by accident. Google Docs has version history, and it is the undo button for collaborative files. Go to File, Version History, see Version History. The right side of the screen changes to a panel of dated versions. Click the top version from a few minutes ago. The document preview shows what it looked like at that point. If you see the text you lost or the paragraph someone deleted, click Restore this version at the top of the panel. That brings the whole document back to that state. It also becomes a new version in the history, so you are not losing the later version either. I've used this more times than I can count, and it is the first place I go when a shared doc looks wrong. Another thing people hit is a refusal email from someone who can't open the link. The default share setting in many Google accounts is restricted, which means only the people you invite can open it. If you need anyone in your company to open it from a link, click Share and look at the section at the bottom called Get Link. Click the text that says Restricted, change it to anyone with the link, then set the drop-down next to it to Viewer or Commenter. Copy the link from the field and send it in your own email or message. This is the correct fix for the common you need permission message. The third thing worth doing now is changing the page margins. The default is 1 inch all around, and for a text-heavy document, that's fine. For a launch plan with wide tables or a calendar, I want more room. Go to File, Page Setup. The dialog shows margin fields in inches. Set left and right to 0.75 and click OK. The text reflows to use the extra width. If you are exporting to PDF, do this before the export because the PDF captures the page size and margins as they are. Finally, one faster route now that you've done the clear way once. If you need to comment quickly, select the text and press Ctrl-Alt-M or Command-Option-M on a Mac. The comment box opens without reaching for the mouse. I use that constantly during review passes and it keeps the cursor moving. It works inside the Google Docs web app, though not in every embedded preview. So that's the full Google Docs flow. You can now take a blank document, name it, structure it properly with headings and lists, insert links and images, collaborate with comments and suggestions, and share or export it cleanly for someone else. If this got you from an empty page to a shared exportable document, hit the like button. Subscribe for more straight walkthroughs, and leave a comment saying this was helpful because comments are what push this to other people looking for the same thing.